right. Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Sherman Ray, and this is Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We've not been on, and man, we took the entire month of January and February off. We're back here in March. It seems like it's been forever since I last saw you. So I want to welcome you all back to the podcast, to Black Success Magazine podcast. I was doing some looking back to see how many podcasts we've done. We've done about 150 podcasts over the last few years. That's a lot of podcasts. And I thought to myself, well, is anybody even listening to them? And sure enough, we definitely are. A lot of people are listening to them. I'm so glad about that because this is what we need. We need this as entrepreneurs. We need this as people. We need this as, people on that life cycle where you want to go and move forward in life. And this one is no different, you guys. We're starting off 2024 kind of doing this, kind of a wave sign. It's just nothing is just going straight ahead. And so that's really important that we get in gear. I mean, really do. We've got to get in gear, and we've got to get motivated. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, about getting motivated. Today, let's see. I'm going to give you, now I've got about 8 keys to getting motivated. We're not going to be able to get through all of them, definitely not today. But let's just go through a couple of things that have helped me out over the years on getting motivated. Now, for some of you, this might be the first time you're listening to the broadcast, and I really encourage you folks, if this is the first time, go to our website, go to blacksuccessmagazine.com, check it out. We've had that site up for just a little bit. We're going to actually be doing some updates, so look for some updates in the next couple of weeks. But I've been in business for many, many years. I've owned restaurants. I've owned now I own a media company, and I'm a pastor. And so one of the things I do is I do a lot of cheerleading for people. Yeah, I do. I cheerlead for people all the time. And what does that mean? That means I help people get to the next level. That's really what I do. Either it is financially, business-wise, spiritually, physically. Help people get to the next level. And I hope that when you listen to this, that you take it for what it is. It's my attempt to help you get to the next level. It really is. During the day, I get to work with a lot of kids, and that's all I do with the kids all day long, is just try to motivate them to move to the next level, especially young African-American kids. Is try to let them know, hey guys, guess what? Especially nowadays, kids nowadays have this, they've got a whole different outlook on life, and it's a whole different dynamic. But we'll talk about that on a later broadcast. But suffice it to say, I'm here on your side. So look at me as your Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, only hairier and not as pretty. And so I'm trying to help you get to the next level. So let's talk about getting motivated. So these are self-motivation tips that I hope will help you out. Number 1, put your goals on a calendar. We've talked about this before, you guys. The things about your mind here. This is what is peculiar about your mind. Your mind knows when you're BSing. Okay? Which I don't have to explain to you what that means. Your mind knows when you are not serious. Because if you are serious, you will write down what you want to do. Not only will you write down what you want to do, you'll write down what you need to do. Not just what you want to do, but what you need to do. And when you need to do those things. So you need to begin to write down your goals on a calendar. Many of you heard this story before. When I opened my restaurant, I put together a 26-week plan to open up my restaurant. And I wrote down my plan, on a Excel spreadsheet. And many of you don't know what an Excel spreadsheet is anymore because they probably don't use it anymore. But in the old days, we would have an Excel spreadsheet. And I wrote down my goals on that Excel spreadsheet. And when I did that, I was able to tell what I was going to do, when I was going to do it, and at the end of the week, what should be accomplished by the end of the week. And that is incredibly important because Your mind will do what you want it to do. Your mind will tell your body, hey, he wrote this down, let's get this done. But it won't do it if you don't write it down. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't write down specifics, you got to be very specific about a goal that you're going to shoot for at a certain such and such a date. 1 year, I lost 50 pounds. Why? Because I wrote it down. I put together an exercise plan, and then not only that, but I got about 50 other people involved in it. They all lost 50 pounds apiece. Why? Because we told ourselves and we wrote it down, guys, we are going to do such and such and so and so. Not just and left it open-ended. We said by such and such a date, this is going to be accomplished. And that's what we did. So it's so important that you put your goals down on a calendar. Okay? And it could be, and I really encourage you, don't just put it on your phone. Okay? I don't know. Your phone is not a real thing anymore. I know a lot of people would disagree with me, but when I did it, I wrote it on a computer and I had it on a spreadsheet. I still have that spreadsheet to this day to prove to everybody that that's what I did. And it's on paper. Why do we write it on paper? Because something happens between the time you write it in your mind and then you write it on a piece of paper. There's some kind of connection. There's some kind of emotional thing. There's some kind of neurological thing that happens when you put things down on paper. I'll show you this, guys. I got pads of paper everywhere, and they got writing on them, everything. Why? Because something happens when I write things down that makes it really clear and it makes it happen. If you were able to see the studio right now, you would see that I've got boards over to the side here that I've got other goals done. What I'm going to do. Something happens when you actually tactile. It's a tactile thing. It's my new big word. That when you write those things down, it'll get done. But it won't get done because if you don't write it down, because your mind knows you're BSing. Your mind knows it's just a thought. Yeah, it's just another thought that you have. Okay, so you really need to give your mind direction. Number 2, make working towards a goal or your goals a habit. You want to get motivated? Make goal setting a habit. Make it a habit, guys. I mean, not just, hey, guess what? I've got ideas. I got great ideas. No, you don't have grandiose ideas. You make it a habit that you're going to set goals all the time for yourself. I want to open up this. I want to learn this. I want to acquire this. I've got a new hobby that I want to start or whatever it is. But you need to make it a habit to say, okay, I'm going to start doing some new things all the time. Here's another reason why. If you don't set yourself up for reaching for things, going for things, you're going to tend to be one of those guys that plays video games a lot. And I know people like this all the time. They're going, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the greatest guy. I'm going to be such a successful person. Oh, yeah, wonderful. And then they're just so full of it. It's almost ridiculous that they would imagine that they're going to actually do stuff because they never set any goals for anything. They never say, okay, I'm going to do something in life. And unfortunately, they end up not. And they end up sitting around with a bunch of other people who don't. That's not you. Okay, that is not you. If you're listening to this podcast right now, guys, this is not you, and I know it. Okay, I know it's not you. Let's do one more. Okay, there's 8 of them. Maybe we'll do 4 of them. Number 3, plan for imperfection. Plan for imperfections. Okay, so a lot of people, you will never do anything perfectly the first time. Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. You won't do. You didn't walk. You didn't run. You didn't ride a bike. You didn't drive a car perfectly the first time. And yet you do. Now, life is full of imperfections. The point here is that you fall. If you're going to fail falling forward. Does that make sense? If you're going to fail, that's fine because you're going to fail. And we all fail. I fail all the time. Epic fails all the time. But does it stop me? No, it doesn't stop me. I just keep going. That's what we do. You learn that life is full of failures. Learn that life is full of imperfections. The problem with a lot of people is they won't start anything because they know they are going to probably fail. But embrace failures in life, okay? Don't run away from failures. Embrace them. The only way you're going to learn things in life is by failing. Okay? That's the only way you're going to do it. When I was a kid growing up, ask my mom. Well, you can't now because she's passed away now. But my mom will tell you, or my brothers will tell you, that I was always taking things apart as a kid. Oh yeah, I was that guy. I was that kid. I would take things apart all the time. Why? Because I wanted to see how they worked. That's just the way it was. And I became an electrician at one point in my life because I had that inquisitive mind. I was never fearful of taking things apart because I knew the worst thing that could happen was I had to put it back together. And if it didn't get put back together, I figured out I couldn't put that back together. I would learn, and the same thing is true in life and in business or anything else you do. Sometimes you've got to fail in order to be successful. Nowadays, guys, guess what? I'm still never fearful of taking things apart. As a matter of fact, people ask me to do things all the time because they know I'm not fearful. I will. Some lady asked me just recently. She had a piece of I think it was what it was. She had a holder for her mouse. And she was trying to figure out how to put the holder, it's got Velcro on the back, or stick them on the back. And she was afraid to basically tear the thing apart to make it work. And I said, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tear this thing apart. I'm gonna do it right now, so you just give me permission, because I am that guy. I will do it. And she says, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I go, don't worry. It's not that she didn't know what she was doing. She was fearful. She was so fearful that she didn't want to move forward and do something really simple. It was really actually very simple, okay? And when I showed her, she was like going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't do this. I feel so embarrassed. Okay, don't feel embarrassed. Feel like you should have stepped forward and just moved forward, okay? And in life, guys, guess what? It might be a business adventure. It might be investing in the stock market. It might be buying a house, okay? Guys, guess what? You're going to lose sometimes. Trust me. You're going to lose, okay? I've lost a lot of money in life, okay? But it will never stop me from moving forward, okay? All right. Last one. Set small goals to build momentum. Set small goals, okay? We're talking about getting motivated. Set small goals to build momentum. Small goals, okay? Let's say you're going to buy a car, okay? Small goals, okay? You want to build some momentum because you want to get that enough money to buy that car, okay? Instead, let's say the car is $60,000, okay? Because cars are pretty expensive nowadays, okay? How do you buy a car for $60,000 and you don't have $60,000 right now? Okay? How about save $5? Okay? How about start $5 a week that you're going to start saving? And after about 2 or 3 weeks, you find that, hey, this isn't hurting me too much. How about move it up to $10 a week? Okay? And then after another month or so, you say, hey, this isn't too bad. And then you build a little bit more and say, I can save $30 a week or whatever. But use small gains to build some momentum. Okay? Momentum is you starting something in motion so that at first it takes a big push to push that thing forward. But once the momentum kicks into gear, it doesn't take that much anymore. It doesn't take that much. Where it once was like this big push, now it's like, okay? Life is that way too, okay? At this point in my life right now, doesn't take me very long to get something started. No, because I've done it so many times. I mean, it literally takes me 2 seconds to get something going now. I'm used to it now, okay? In order for you to get motivated, guys, you've got to begin to build this thing like a muscle, just like a muscle, and you can make it happen, okay? I think you're getting this, okay? Anyways, guys, let's do this. We're not going to be able to do much more of this, but I really encourage you to listen to this next podcast. We'll get the next podcast out in a couple of days or so. But it'll be part 2 of how to get motivated, you guys. I really hope you enjoy it. Look for this one that we've got right here, part 1 of it, on our website at blacksuccessmagazine.com. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can get podcasts, you'll get this podcast also. So I encourage you to get this one. Okay. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray. Thank you so much for checking this out. Oh, if you'd like to write to me, blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. I thank you guys once again so much for being a part of the show, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.